They are literally threatening people all across the country. How can you say that we're overreacting somehow? We're not. They're the ones that I'm talking about. Donald Trump and his administration, Tom Homan, people at the Department of Homeland Security. They're the ones that are threatening people, again, who are law-abiding, who are often the anchors of their communities.
But still, they're here illegally. That was Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday getting hit with questions about, the ongoing efforts of the Trump administration in combating illegal immigration. Welcome in. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop here with the Center Square. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay updated with us each and every weekday morning with thecentersquare.com in your inbox. Get the newsletter and get the podcast where you get podcasts. All right, so ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement on X, they are posting updates as to their enforcement efforts. So as of yesterday, 538 arrests, 373 detainers lodged. So we'll be getting those updates throughout. And what does it look like for a place like Illinois, right? It's not just ICE. Now you got the Wall Street Journal reporting that the Trump administration has actually given the ATF, the DEA, and the U.S. Marshal Service the ability to arrest illegal immigrants. So that's going to add potentially 10,000 new federal agents to that squadron of deportation efforts. So we may see a lot of videos circulating very similar to this, which was shared on X, purporting to be from Chicago. So you could see you've got some activity. Looks like some kind of officers of sorts are apprehending an individual. And again, purportedly this was in Chicago. That individual showing a little bit of resistance, but nonetheless still being ushered off by men with badges and vests. So again, you'll see more videos of these. And in some cases, you may even have the instance of families with network TV cameras around them having this splashed on news, and is kind of foreseen even before the November election with Trump advocates fielding those questions about the optics of this. What's it going to look like? How is that going to be played politically? So we're going to have a lot of different angles to look at on all of this, but clearly a lot of a lot of eyeballs all across. But listen, it's not just, the ICE and now ATF and other federal officers getting the green light to apprehend illegal immigrants in the country illegally. Apparently, you've also got the Trump administration, the DOJ, going after some of these nonprofit immigration law firms of sorts. Here is video from Brian Crandall, NBC 10, saying federal agents take boxes of files out of the office of Providence lawyer Joseph Molina Flynn, who specializes in immigration work. FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office won't say what the raid's focused on, but it appears to have been linked in the works for a while, not just the last few days. So carrying out boxes from an immigration lawyer. So again, multi-pronged here, right? It's not just the ATF and the ICE and other federal agents going out there and enforcing immigration law. Likely you've got the possibility of the Department of Justice taking other actions and investigating. So maybe that's going to see even more news stories come out, especially when you consider how much tax dollars are involved in the immigration fight, right? Illinois spends $1 billion plus. It's not just for housing. It's not just for education. It's food. It's also lawyer services and all the money that's going to nonprofits operating some of these shelters. So Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday was asked about whether or not he's had the Trump administration reach out to him to discuss more about these immigration efforts and trying to deport people in the country illegally.
I don't have an update for you. The federal government has not communicated with the state of Illinois. That is an indication to all of you that it's all about chaos and confusion. It is not about accomplishing something. And I've said many times, violent criminals who are undocumented in this country should be deported. There is a federal law that allows that deportation. But when we're talking about undocumented people who have been living law-abiding lives and raising families in the United States, we need comprehensive immigration reform. We need to give them an opportunity to stay in this country legally. That's clearly not something that Donald Trump believes in. And I will stand up for residents of the state of Illinois who are abiding by the law, who are holding down jobs, who are paying taxes. I mean, we should stand up for them. That is the right thing to do. But he's trying to tear things down.
So again, the governor saying that they're here undocumented. Some people say that's not the right definition. The definition is illegal if they're here undocumented. So illegal alien, they're here undocumented, breaking federal immigration law. So when he says they're here law-abiding, otherwise, does that matter? They're here illegally. So, some of the questions, and I think there were at least 2 or 3 reporters who typically aren't at governor news conference events in Chicago asking some pointed questions, and the governor having to react to questions like, are state officials like the governor and the attorney general, who's put out notice that the state's local and state law enforcement have to abide by sanctuary state policies of not cooperating with federal immigration officials, and this goes to the DMV and the Department of Corrections and so on, even telling local county sheriffs that they can't cooperate with ICE to have beds in their jails so that they can have some place to put illegal aliens that ICE gathers up. So here's Governor Pritzker being asked about if he's overreacting.
What are you talking about? They are literally threatening people all across the country. How can you say that we're overreacting somehow? We're not. They're the ones, I'm talking about Donald Trump and his administration, Tom Homan, people at the Department of Homeland Security. They're the ones that are threatening people, again, who are law-abiding, who are often the anchors of their communities, who are paying taxes in this country. They're the ones who are threatening people. We're just standing up for people who live in our state and in our city.
So more questions were hurled towards the governor during the news conference in Chicago yesterday. And one question, I believe, was from a friend of the show, William Kelly, an independent reporter out of Chicago, asking about the taxpayer cost of all of this. And how do you justify that?
No, sit down. I'm going to answer that question. Now, we're going to move on. Let me answer. I'm going to answer your question. The money that we spend in the state of Illinois is about protecting the residents of the state of Illinois. That is what it is about. We will stand up for anybody who is standing up for the law. We follow the law in the state of Illinois. I'm very concerned that Donald Trump and the federal government is not going to be following the law. Indeed, they have proposed getting rid of birthright citizenship. For many families, imagine, my own family, many families that came to this country years ago, right, who have made successful lives over many years, that opportunity would be completely cut off. It's unconstitutional what they're suggesting. It's in the Constitution that we protect birthright citizenship. We all ought to stand up for the Constitution. This president does not.
So the governor, again, injecting other issues when asked about the taxpayer cost of funding housing, food, attorney services, education, for illegal immigrants. Now, he may say that, a lot of those are asylum seekers. Well, new Trump administration redefining what, asylum is in the context of immigration. So maybe that's not the case anymore. I don't know. Again, we're going to be watching this closely. But the bottom line is you've got Republicans in the state who have, for several years now, ever since the policies of making the state a sanctuary state started under the Rauner administration, a Republican who passed and signed a law that dealt with this issue. But Governor Pritzker came in and signed a law that enhanced that, called the Trust Act, saying that local and state law enforcement cannot cooperate with federal immigration authorities if the detention is the lone issue thereafter. So State Senator Chapin Rose, when I chatted with him a couple of days ago, he said that, listen, these policies are putting people's lives in danger. And as evidence of what happened down in Georgia with the Lake and Riley case that led to national legislation that should be on Trump's desk soon, saying that if an illegal alien is caught committing a crime, then they can be held and deported. So making it clear. But you also have a case this past weekend in Urbana that Chapin Rose talked about, where 2 young women were killed in a auto wreck where a suspect fled, and that suspect reportedly in the country illegally, was apprehended 2 hours from the Mexican border by U.S. Marshals just a couple of days ago. So again, Rose saying that people's lives are in jeopardy because of Democratic policy.
2 young ladies dead in Champaign County. And Governor Pritzker still supports a sanctuary state. The mayor of Champaign and Urbana supports sanctuary cities. The mayor of Chicago supports sanctuary cities. Okay? Why, on God's green earth, are we not letting law enforcement do their job and prevent, not just the folks from coming into the United States, but also deporting the ones that are here? And I'm telling you what, right now, whether it's Lake and Riley or these 2 poor ladies from Urbana last weekend, the Democratic Party in this country and in this state are getting people killed.
Again, State Senator Chapin Rose there talking about his concerns of the state's sanctuary policies, which are being upheld by Governor J.B. Pritzker, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, and others. And we'll see how this plays out. It's Illinois in Focus Daily with the Center Square. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up with us each and every weekday morning here as we break down things you need to know to get your day going. I'm Greg Bishop. Follow me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air.